where it's kind of slightly different here is that, yes, we've got the search in SharePoint at the top, but I've also got the ability to open up an agent on the page and start having a conversation with my agent about, how can you help me? So typically, as I said, people come to the intranet and they're looking for a policy. So rather than kind of navigating through our policy or finding it in SharePoint, I could just come in here and say, oh, actually just coming here to find out what's our policy on remote working. And this may take a few seconds to try and work through, but I haven't had to go and try and find that. I haven't had to click through loads of steps to navigate around. And from an experience perspective, when we're thinking about how people work now, when I pick up my phone and I'm asking it a question and it gives me an immediate answer, why should the internet experience be any different? So here it's bringing me back a set of information around our ways of working and a policy. It's knowing, it's applying it to me, who it applies to. It's breaking it down in a structured, consumable way. And it gives me a link to say, this is where that policy was located. And it tells me when it was created and who it was created by and reviewing authority. So I've got loads of information and I trust this because I can feel like actually it's given me some really good. I know when it's effective from, when it's being reviewed. I can trust that this is the source of truth for, the policies within my organization. So that's just one example about how the AI powered intranet is very, very simple to create just by dropping an agent into a web part on your SharePoint page. Another scenario I just want to run through is so the agent is Copilot. I just saw somebody demoing there, and this person, so I'm logged in as somebody called Amelia Earhart, and she has a Copilot license. So she has a Copilot license within the organization, which allows her to experience this. So yeah, it's a really good question. I just saw that pop up. I just want to make that clear. Another example of an agent where it can be useful, particularly for internal comms. We've got another part of our university with running an energy week. It might be a campaign, a piece of awareness that we're running. It's complemented this SharePoint site here with all of the things that we want to provide information. It looks and feels like my organization. I've got stories around other green initiatives that we've got going on. I've got the ability to see some content within here as well. Nice carousels and layouts within our SharePoint campaign site. But actually I've got here my energy week agent. So my energy week agent is there ready for me to, well, I don't want to have to read all of those things. And how can I get involved with energy week? And I could either talk to it by clicking the icon, or I could just ask it a question. And again, it's coming back and saying, well, this is how you can get involved. I'm just going to leave that running in the background and just, in the interest of time, skip over and just show you how easy it is to create this. And again, everything I'm showing today is using SharePoint. Is what we're looking at today. So many of you will know a SharePoint document library when you see one. But actually, what we're going to do now is because this lady Amelia has a license for Copilot, I can now have an option to create an agent. And the agent here is just simply grounded in this library. So AI actions, create an agent. And here I can start describing, it's going to be my energy week agent. And I can now start to build out this agent. What's the purpose of the agent? Where's it going to get the information from? Well, because I created this agent inside this library, it's grounded within this campaign week. So actually the data that it uses as the source of truth is within this SharePoint site, within this document library. And I can give it some instructions to say, this is what I need you to do, the starter prompts that you see on the right-hand side here that it typically has. And I could actually start to give it some more instructions, but I could have gone through this and created an agent and the parameters that it works within, the tone that I want it to come back with an informational tone, telling it it's first targeting perhaps students or staff within a university. I can click create on that agent. And I've created my own agent for this campaign specifically, not my whole intranet agent, just a campaign agent here in about 3 minutes. And all that does is I can then have an agent. It sits within this document library, and it allows me to do exactly this by adding a web part onto the SharePoint page, which again, many of you will know how to do. And it allows people to start and interact. And how can I get involved? And it's providing answers back from the PowerPoints, from the PDFs, from the Word documents that I've uploaded into that library. And it's telling a student how they can get involved with the University Energy Week. So That's my simple demo. And again, think about the scale and complexity of this. I'm starting simple here. This isn't a really fully orchestrated big scale agent that's going to have any automation behind it. It's a simple entry point into how you can start to use AI within your intranet to help to provide information. Sai, I'm going to hand over to you for your demo. I'm just going to have a look at some of the chat questions while I do that. So I'm going to